Now, joining me in the studio today is Barry Raeburn, who's the National Director of Missions Without Borders, to talk about a very cool project of theirs called Operation Cover Up. Good morning, Barry.
Good morning, Lizzie. Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, great to have you on the studio. And I'm just going to make a public confession. I organised this interview with Barry last week, and I said it's for today. And then I decided somehow, without thinking, sent him an email confirming for tomorrow. Thankfully, Barry messaged this morning and was like, aren't we catching up today? Yes, we are. So thanks, because I might have been standing here going, where is he?
Where is this guy?
And it would have been all my fault.
No problem at all.
Hey, so this is a very cool initiative where Kiwis around the country knit garments for people in Eastern Europe, because we might complain about our winters here in New Zealand, right? But minus 25 in Eastern Europe. That's cold,
right.
Barry.
That is absolutely right. No, minus 25 degrees. And then, of course, where the countries we work in, we have 6 countries. One of them is the Ukraine. As well as the cold that they're going to be going through in the winter, they've also got, a lot of them have lost their homes. They're having to shelter in churches and different other institutional buildings where they can find a place to stay. So as well as the challenges of the cold of winter, they've also got being internally displaced or fleeing as refugees. So
yeah, that's a lot to deal with.
Yeah, a lot to deal with.
Now, your Mission Without Borders, obviously this is one arm of what you do, but can you just give us a little bit of an overview of Mission Without Borders?
Yeah, absolutely. So Mission Without Borders has been around for over 60 years, working in Eastern Europe. We started out as underground evangelism in 1960. And so we started out smuggling Bibles behind the Iron Curtain to people that were hungry for the Word of God.
I love that underground, evangelism. It sounds like very like, oh, I'm in a movie and it's, but I mean, it sounds exciting, but actually it must have been kind of scary for people at times, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I think there's that element of with the Iron Curtain and communism, and there was all this fear surrounding that. These all founders of the organization really had a lot of courage to get in there and start doing this work. And so millions of Bibles were smuggled across and into the hands of Christians there. And then over the years, since the Iron Curtain has fallen, things have changed. We work in 6 countries in Eastern Europe: Albania, Bosnia, Bulgaria, Moldova, Romania, and the Ukraine.
Right.
And so we work in those countries, working in amongst vulnerable communities, and that's kind of where our work centres right now. So,
So how long has this project been going, Operation Cover Up?
20 years ago, Liz Clark, God laid it on her heart to start this project. We were doing obviously some work a lot of work, but she said God put it on her heart to start knitting. And so she actually doesn't knit herself, but she started mobilising knitters around the country. And so for the past 20 years, we've sent more than 1 million different items across. Last year, we sent over 60,000 items across in 2 container loads, 40-foot containers across to Eastern Europe. So huge amounts of people getting involved, getting on board. Oftentimes, we get absolutely inundated with people wanting to give and get behind our efforts, particularly recently with the crisis in Ukraine. People's hearts have just really been touched.
Yeah, I mean it's been going on for over a year now, hasn't it?
It has.
And I guess, I mean, I would not call myself a war expert, but that sort of thing happened, and you were like, oh, hopefully this won't be happening very long, right? And then obviously, it's still going.
It's continuing, and it's heartbreaking. Last year, I met in Bulgaria with the director of our Ukraine office. So all of our team in the Ukraine are Ukraine nationals. We raise funds from our New Zealand office for our Ukrainian work there. But he was talking with me about what's happening and all the work that's been done. And of course, he was sharing from his heart, his gratitude. And as he was sharing about the prayers and support, particularly from New Zealand and countries around the world, his tears started welling up and he got quite emotional. And so, I think the Ukrainian people really appreciate the support, particularly from countries so far away like New Zealand. It's real heart-touching stuff.
Yeah. And, being able to knit. So what sort of things are people knitting? What sort of things do you need?
Large blankets is a priority for us. So we have 50 large blankets will get knitted. The dimensions are on our website.
Okay.
And then 50 large blankets get pushed down into a bale, like the wool bales where they bale wool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we pack them down tight into these wool bales.
Yeah.
And we sent, I think last year we sent 120 of those across to Eastern Europe. And then, of course, there's warm clothing, knitted jerseys, hats, scarves, woolen items.
Anything you can knit, really.
Anything
Beanie.
you can knit, yep. But we also take hygiene products across. There's a list of different things that we're looking for to send across. But last year we had a record number of things that we shipped across to the Ukraine.
So you've got Kiwis all up and down the country doing this, right?
We have thousands of people all across, thousands of blankets every year, warm clothing. There was one little story I was going to tell you. When I was talking to the Ukraine director, he was saying that just before the war broke out, a truckload of blankets arrived from New Zealand to the Ukraine. And he was thinking to himself, how am I going to distribute all these blankets to, and what communities, what families are we going to give them to? The war broke out the next day, and then, of course, a flood of refugees started coming across the border, flooding out of the eastern part of Ukraine, and those blankets were used up very quickly. So
Wow.
that's the kind of thing that these blankets are going to, these kinds of people.
And I understand within the next few weeks you've got some container loads that you're wanting to fill up and send over again, right?
That's absolutely right. So all the stuff's been gathered up again. All the knitted items are being gathered up again. Currently, I think we had 22 bales of knitted blankets coming from Christchurch, but all over the country, Thames, Tauranga, everywhere. It all gets sent up to our dispatch centre in South Auckland. And from there, we fill up 2 40-foot container loads of knitted items for those that need it.
And that must cost a bit to ship.
It does, but by the time we calculate everything through, the percentage that we'd pay for shipping to get it across there, but by comparison, it's a very small percentage compared to the total value of what we're actually sending across there.
Yeah. So are you always looking for new knitters?
We are. We're always looking for people to join our knitting operation. And there are people that get into their retirement years. They're looking for some opportunity, way to do something meaningful.
Yeah.
And so we have, honestly, we have thousands of people who sit in front of the tally or sit in front of wherever,
Yep.
and they'll be knitting away. And when you're knitting for Mission Without Borders, you can know that not only are you knitting, you're actually doing something really special to help people in need. So yeah, we're looking for people that are looking to knit woolen blankets for us, jerseys, slippers, hats, scarves, and mittens, that kind of thing. And then also we're looking for people to support our shipping cost donations. So every year, all our knitters give a small contribution. I was going to touch base with you on that as well. They give a small contribution, and that actually covers our shipping costs to get it all across as well.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So for somebody listening today, and look, I know there's going to be someone who, probably at least more than one, who's interested in knitting or maybe contributing in another way, is the website the easiest way to get hold of you guys?
It is, yep, absolutely. So if you go to our website, www.mwb.org.nz, and you'll see on the website there's a Get Involved section and there's Operation Cover Up in the Get Involved section. If you go there for our knitting, and then also another part of the thing is for our work in the Ukraine, you can look to support our work that we're doing to respond to the crisis there as well financially.
Okay.
Yep.
So that website again, mwb.org.nz. Now, do you know the phone number off the top of your head as well? I'm putting you under pressure,
Yes.
but I found it on your website.
0800 469 269 is our 0800 number. So
That's the
feel
one.
free to call our supporter care people as well.
Yes, I know some Star listeners actually don't have internet. So 0800 469 269. What an awesome thing to be part of. Thanks for coming in, Barry. So great to hear about it all today.
Thank you, Lizzie. We appreciate you and appreciate all your wonderful listeners as well.